Welcome, 7th graders. After working really hard on the Dragster car design notebook over the last month, we have finally reached the end. So this video is to explain the final checklist of everything that should be in your design notebook and to go over how you're being graded. So just a reminder, for your final checklist and just for every design notebook, you are going to receive 4 grades. And so I want to go over what each of the grades will be so you know exactly what needs to be in there and how you're being graded for each of the 4 grades. So the first one is inquiring and analyzing, which is the first step in the design cycle. And you can see how you're being graded for that one. It's going to be answering essential questions, research on aerodynamics, and highlighting key information from the introduction reading. So I just want to go through those 3 things and show you in your design notebook where those are. So for essential questions, those are at the very top here, and you should write in an answer for each of these questions. What is the purpose of research? Type your answer here. Why is it important to know specifications before beginning a project? Type your answer here. Remember to use complete sentences, and all of these should have an answer written in there. So that's part 1 of inquiring and analyzing. The next part then is aerodynamics research. And so for this, you have to look up different websites and sources, and if you want, you can use the links provided on the side here. You could also use different ones. And for each website or source, you have to write notes of what you got from it and how you use that information or that research to design your car. So that's part number 2 of inquiring and analyzing. And the third part is in the introduction reading, you had to read this entire section, and then you had to highlight what are my tasks, what skills will I use, and dimensions I need to know to build the dragster car. So as we go through this, we should see it highlighted based on those 3 parts. So that is how you're being graded for inquiring and analyzing. The second grade is developing ideas. So for developing ideas, you had to have definitions for each vocabulary word. You had to complete the specification chart, and then you had to have sketches, where 5 to 10 thumbnail sketches, 2 to 4 top or side view drawings, and then 1 or 2 final scale drawings. So I want to show you where all 3 of those are located in your design notebook. Towards the top, right below the essential questions and below the daily goals, you had about 9, I think it was, vocabulary words, and you should have definitions for each one. To get that aspired to do section, it would be writing it in your own words, not just copying and pasting from Google. Double check that you have these vocab words filled out. The second part was the specification chart. In the specification chart, and you can see it's under developing ideas here, you had to fill out this chart based on the specifications for what your dragster car can be. So although you can design your car pretty much however you want, you had to follow certain specifications of how long it can be, how wide it can be, and so complete it and where everything is located. So you had to fill in all of these measurements, which all the answers are found up above in these bullet points throughout the reading here. You should have had those highlighted already. And then the third part to developing ideas was sketching. And so part of the design process is making a plan, sketching it out before you actually start designing your car. And so you had to have sketches, thumbnail sketches, 5 to 10 of them, just quick rough draft ideas. And you should insert an image of your drawings here if you did them on paper. And same thing for the next 2 here, that you should take pictures of whatever your sketches are, a top and side view drawings here, and then 1 final scale drawing where it's labeled, measured, and again inserted in here. So that's grade number 2 for the design notebook. Third one is creating the solution. This is what, when you're doing the project, it's the main activity. It's what we're doing all of the research for, all of the planning, and that's creating our dragster car. And with this here, we had to do it on Tinkercad. And so what we're looking for this grade is, did you complete the lessons and starters in Tinkercad? And then also, did you create a final dragster car on Tinkercad and shared that with your teacher to be 3D printed? That part is not in your design notebook. That is obviously on the Tinkercad website. And the last grade is going to be evaluating. So for evaluating, you had to answer conclusion questions, fill out the velocity data chart, and then have a daily summary for each day of class. And so in your design notebook, that's going to be towards the bottom. And this is the velocity data chart that you had to fill out. And Mr. Severson created a video for this where you had to take the time given to you and the distance, that's the length of the track, and you had to find out the velocity, basically how many inches per second were the cars going, and there were two charts here to complete. Right below that were the evaluating questions. What did you do to what did you find the most difficult about this project and why? That's just question number one. There are, I believe, 7 of them. And again, they're color coded. So you can see the pink ones are aspire to do, and you can see certain sections are pink. Certain sections are this orange color, which is should do. And then the blue colored questions are the must do. And lastly, it's daily summaries. What did you do or accomplish or learn for each day you were in here? And so hopefully you were filling that out each day that we went through the design notebook. And as you look at this checklist here, if I were you, I would pause. I'll put this so you can see all the font. I would pause this video right here so you can go through each of these parts that's being graded and physically find it in your design notebook and locate it. And if you're missing that part, just take time right now to work on it and complete it before you submit that design notebook.